Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is not new news, you've probably heard it, but I want to talk further about Axel Rudakubana attacking prison guards in our prison service and what that's going to do going forward. Because at the end of the day, this guy's going to be locked up for over 50 years and he's only been in a matter of months so far. So this news happened, I believe, Thursday. We heard about it, most people, Friday. And Axel Rudakubana, unless you're living in a moon, he was a Southport killer who was found guilty, pled guilty to 3 murders of beautiful young girls and 10 other attempted murders. He was also found guilty with having rice and poisoning, jihadi paraphernalia and handbooks, and blades that he shouldn't have had in his house. So he was given over 50 years life sentence where, he should serve at least 50 years. So it was quite a high sentencing, and he appealed it, funnily enough, and thankfully the courts knocked back his appeal. So what's happened now is he's getting investigated for an alleged attack on a prison officer on Thursday. The officer had boiling water thrown over him. Then they were taken to hospital but discharged later that same day. Prison service said that violence in prison will not be tolerated, and we will always push for the strongest possible punishment for attacks on our hard-working staff. It follows, remember, only a matter of weeks ago, we had an attack last month by the Manchester Arena bomber Hashem Abedi at another prison. So it sees these sort of guys that, I was going to say jihadis, but this guy's no, he's a Welsh choir boy, remember. This is how we were painted. This guy was painted by our media and our establishment after he knifed 3 young children to death and tried to kill another 10. It was sold and painted as this wee choir boy with a nice wee photograph of him looking angelic on the, if you remember, he had a small part in Doctor Who at one point. We didn't have a current photo for a long time until we went to court. But these 2 guys, terrorists in my eyes, both in the space of weeks have attacked people in our prison services. So what they're saying, the Prison Service Association are saying that a lot of people are using what they call homemade weapons to stab folk. And that guy, Debbie, he didn't throw hot water, he threw hot oil. You think, well, how did a guy, I'd imagine in a high security setting, get access to hot oil through a prison officer? We're still not at this point sure where the boiling water that Axel Rudakubana had came from. Is he allowed a kettle in his cell? Or do we just bring him boiling water at his, if he wants some pot noodles and things like that? I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, so what they're considering doing is obviously putting stab vests and stuff to protect people, but they're also talking about possibly implementing a trial of using tasers in our prisons. Now, I don't think we need to have wings that have got guys who are maybe in for burglary or, selling a bit of hash or stuff like that. But you would think in really high secured places, like Frankland Prison and stuff, then you would already have that. What do we do to make people who are, know they're going to their work to work in a dangerous situation? How do we consider their safety now and again? And I find this bonkers that we're considering a trial of tasers in prisons. It shouldn't be even been a consideration. That should be something that's already in place. And it's like, well, what do we do? He's got a 52-year minimum sentence this guy's got. So I would like to think any appeal he does in the future will be unsuccessful. I'd like to think that will be minimum 52. So let's just say it's 52 years. We've got 51 and a half years left to looking after this crackpot, right? How many more attacks is he going to have? He's only been in jail in a matter of weeks. And he's already attacked one that we know of, right? So what do you do with these people? I had somebody talking that we need a sort of maximum security prison, like these ones they have in America out in the desert and stuff like that. Why not? Because the sentencing, okay, his was particularly high, but I wouldn't say it was harsh, right? I think his sentence was closer to fitting the crime than a lot that we've seen recently, apart from the ones that are in jail for tweeting stuff. They seem a wee bit excessive, but there's people getting very light sentences, and some not even custodial sentences for like abusing kids and stuff like that. But I think we need to have harder sentences for people who are doing harder crimes. We need to have conditions that will make people think twice about committing crimes, because, you know, if you've got a bigger penalty to pay, you know, but hopefully would think twice about committing a crime. You know, they say if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Well, if you're not having to do any time to do crimes, then crack on. Seems to be the way we're doing things now. So, yeah, I think we should have harsher prisons for, you know, excessively violent and scary people who are a complete danger, particularly, in this instance, the children, who, if he had got his way that day, we were getting charged with 10 attempted murders. Obviously, he tried to get his tally to 13. Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult a single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. It's hard to know what information to trust. See what the media is exaggerating, sensationalising, over or under reporting. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place, so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if it has any political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. Take a data-driven view on the news and stay current. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. I've been using Ground News to help me get all the world's news in one place and give a more balanced opinion on what we read, and viewing who is telling us the truth and who isn't. Subscribe via my link to get 40% off the Vantage subscription. It's the one I use to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription can not only help my channel, but also help Ground News, as it makes the media landscape more transparent. Right? He's an evident danger to society. So I'm not really that bothered if he didn't have access to boiling water. I wouldn't be that bothered if every guard that went into his room had to point a taser at him for their own safety whenever they had to be in close contact with him. I'm not really that bothered about the Manchester bomber being under the same conditions. I'm not that bothered that if they had to serve their full sentence in solitary confinement, then so be it. If that's one way of controlling you, and it might be actually better for them as well, because I can't imagine these people will be high up the Christmas card list with the rest of the inmates in these buildings that are full of crazy prisoners, right? So, give them some tough porridge. Look after the prison guards who are having to go in and put themselves in harm's way because of these idiots are in jail. And if you need to point a taser at them every time you're in close proximity to them, crack on. So, if you want other people to see this video, click the thumbs up, put some comments below, or hit the share button, share it with them. And if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to see videos as they first come out, click the notification bell and YouTube will send you a wee notification message, okay? But most importantly of all, as I say at the end of all my videos, unless you're the type of person that helps blow up an arena full of young girls watching a concert and helps, or goes and murders 3 beautiful young girls at a play setting and try to, you know, kill another 10, then no you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.